So nobody is that incompetent. So it has to be, they just believe in open borders, do they not?
Yes, because I know the people who were securing the border and they weren't allowed to do their job.
Do you think they believe that vetting people at the border is racist?
Yes, I do. I think by the way they allowed people in and granted them immediate paroles.
Hello, Patriots. This is Signal 76, your trusted voice for truth in a nation under siege. Today, we're exposing the shocking truth about our border crisis and the two-faced Democrats who are sabotaging America's security. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our hard-hitting analysis. Like this video, drop a comment below with your thoughts, and watch until the end, because I'm sharing critical information about how the establishment is working against true Americans like you and me.
Well, I need a little help from a chair that respects the members of the committee. I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
You pretty much secured the southern border, haven't you?
Yes, sir. The CBP,
and that upsets some of my colleagues, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. They say you've done it the wrong way, haven't they? Mm-hmm. Could you answer that?
Yes, sir. They do say that.
Do you think they're upset because you supposedly did it the wrong way, or you think they're upset that you did it at all?
I think they're upset that by President Trump enforcing the law, it happened so quickly and successfully.
Yeah. Now, when President Biden came into office, the first thing he did was get rid of all of the things we were doing to stop people from coming into our country illegally, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, it was like The Price is Right. Come on down. Except he said, come on in. And most of my Democratic colleagues went along with that, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yes, they did.
In fact, they cheered him on, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
How many people do you think President Biden let into our country illegally? Just give me a ballpark figure.
Sir, we don't know for certain, but we believe it could be upwards to 20 million people that are illegally in this country.
So that's like adding 10 Nebraskas to our country, isn't it?
That's correct.
Why do you think President Biden and my Democratic colleagues did that? Do you think they believe in open borders?
I think they believed in open borders and letting people come into this country that would affect our society and criminals. Those other countries emptying out the worst of the worst, their mental institutions, their prisons came in here and jeopardized, and known terrorists.
Well, only one or two circumstances are possible. Mm-hmm. It seems to me. Either President Biden and the Democrats who supported him believe in open borders, or the people that President Biden put in charge of securing the border, you wouldn't trust to run a snowball stand, right?
That is correct.
So nobody is that incompetent. So it has to be, they just believe in open borders, do they not?
Yes, because I know the people who were securing the border and they weren't allowed to do their job.
Do you think they believe that vetting people at the border is racist?
Yes, I do. I think by the way they allowed people in and granted them immediate parole status.
Do you think that President Biden and some of my Democratic colleagues, I don't want to paint with too broad a brush, Madam Secretary, thought of these foreign nationals in our country illegally as potential new voters?
Mm-hmm. I do, sir.
Okay. If you're an ordinary American and you oppose illegal immigration, but you support legal immigration, does that make you a racist?
No, sir. No, sir, not at all. It just means that you believe there should be a rule of law, and that's what America was built on.
And that's what you've been enforcing, right?
Exactly. We have been following the Constitution and the rule of law in this country.
And I want to be sure I understand, because there's been a lot of confusing testimony here. You've secured the border, have you not?
This administration has, yes, sir.
And some of my colleagues are upset with you.
Yes, sir.
And they say you did it wrong.
Yes, sir.
And do you agree with me that what they're really upset about is that you did it at all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to ask you a last question about our federal judiciary. I've said repeatedly that all of us has a moral and a civic obligation to follow federal orders, and I stand by that. But there have been a lot of national injunctions, universal injunctions issued to try to stop you from doing your job. Where were these judges when people were breaking the law and coming into our country illegally? Were any of them speaking up and issuing national injunctions against the Democrats?
I don't believe I can be specific about every single judge, but these judges that now are trying to stop us from enforcing our laws, I don't believe or recall them.
Can you
being
think,
vocal then.
Madam Secretary, of one single solitary federal judge who, when President Biden and my Democratic colleagues, not all of them, but many of them,
Gentleman's time has expired.
Secretary or Senator Murray went on over about 2 minutes, so I'm going to take a minute.
Senator Van Hollen just got shut down.
Yes,
right
if you can finish your question.
Can you recall one single solitary federal judge when President Biden and my Democratic colleagues were letting 20 million people come into the country illegally?
I don't recall.
Can you think of one single solitary judge that issued a national injunction to stop them?
No, I can't recall one.
I can't either. If there weren't for
Senator
double
Kennedy.
standards
Madam Chair,
Okay.
there wouldn't
So
be any
Senator
standards
Peters.
at all, Madam Secretary.
Thank you.
Committee,
Thank
Madam
you,
Chair.
Senator Kennedy. Senator Peters.
Madam, let me just say, let's apply the rules fairly. Senator Van Hollen was asking tough questions, but was shut down pretty immediately when his time was expired. Can we at least have a commitment, Madam Chair, that senators on this committee will be allowed to submit questions for the record,
Absolutely.
and that you will
Yes.
Absolutely.
ask the Secretary to answer those questions?
My fellow patriots, what we witnessed in that Senate hearing between Senator Kennedy and Secretary Noem wasn't just another political exchange. It was a rare moment of brutal honesty in Washington that exposes the left's entire agenda. Think about it. 20 million illegals. 20 million. That's what the Biden administration allowed into our country. As Secretary Noem put it, that's like adding 10 entire states of Nebraska to our population overnight. Except these aren't law-abiding citizens. These are people who started their American journey by breaking our laws. And why? Senator Kennedy asked the question we've all been thinking. Why would Democrats deliberately destroy our border security? The answer is painfully clear, friends. Secretary Noem confirmed what we've been saying for years. They want new voters. They're willing to sacrifice your safety, your neighborhood, your children's future, all for political power. You know what's truly telling? When Trump secured the border, efficiently and effectively, the left didn't celebrate safer communities. They didn't applaud protecting American citizens. No, they attacked and obstructed at every turn. Why? Because they don't want a secure border. They never did. The double standard is breathtaking. As Senator Kennedy pointed out, federal judges are falling over themselves to block every attempt to enforce our laws now. But where were they when Biden flung open the gates? Silent. Complicit. This isn't about immigration. It's about invasion. It's about replacing our culture, diluting our vote, and transforming America into something unrecognizable to those of us who love this country. Patriots, this is why our movement matters. This is why Signal 76 exists. The mainstream media won't tell you these truths. They'll call us extreme for wanting basic border security. They'll label us racist for believing in national sovereignty. But we know better. Our founders didn't create this great nation so foreign nationals could pour in unchecked. They created America as a beacon of liberty with defined borders and laws that protect its citizens first. The elites in Washington want you to believe you're alone in these beliefs. You're not. Millions of Americans are waking up. We're building an unstoppable coalition of patriots who understand what's at stake. So what can we do? First, share this video. Knowledge is power, and truth is our greatest weapon. Second, contact your representatives and demand they support strong border policies. Third, Prepare for the battles ahead. They're coming for our guns, our speech, and our way of life next. Remember this exchange between Kennedy and Noem the next time someone tells you open borders are compassionate. There's nothing compassionate about undermining the rule of law. There's nothing kind about prioritizing illegal immigrants over American citizens struggling to make ends meet. This is our moment, Patriots. This is our fight. From the border to the ballot box, we will not surrender our country to those who despise everything that makes America exceptional. If you found value in this analysis, smash that like button, share with everyone you know, and join us again tomorrow when we expose more of the left's playbook for destroying our republic. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Signal 76, signing off.